So today I want to talk to you about the least you need to know about flipping notes. Now, when it comes to note investing, there's quite a bit that goes into that process of analyzing a note. You're buying that paper, right? Not the property, but the paper, and then you're going to carry that paper and collect cash flow for an extended period of time. Well, that's not flipping notes, right? So when it comes to flipping notes, what is it that you do need to understand? What do you need to know about the process? Well, there's a couple things that I want to talk to you about, and that is, if you're flipping notes to a note buyer, then it's important that you understand big picture what that note buyer does to analyze a deal. What do they look at to consider their price and if they're going to make an offer and buy a note, right? So there's a couple things they look at. First, they look at the equity of the property. Okay, so they want to know what's my spread here, my loan to value. If I buy the note, my purchase to value, how much equity do I have, right? So that's very important. They're going to look at the borrower's credit and the credit worthiness of that borrower, meaning what's the likelihood that they'll repay this loan over time if I buy that paper. They're going to look at seasoning, how long has the borrower been paying on the loan, that's important. And then they're going to look at the terms of the note, interest rate, due dates, things like that. So those are some of the things that are really important for them to look at. Now, what all note buyers, when they're considering buying a note, the biggest thing they're going to look at is their risk. Right? So they're going to look at the risk involved in buying that note. They want to know what's the likelihood that I'll get repaid back in the event that the borrower defaults on this loan. So really when it comes down to it, there are two things that a note buyer is going to do when they're analyzing a deal to determine if and what price they're going to pay. So first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at the remaining balance on that note. How many payments are left on this loan? And they're going to look at that future cash flow that can be collected. Very important. That's the main reason why you buy a note is what's the cash flow, remaining cash flow that can be collected. Second thing they're going to do is they're going to calculate that buy price based on their desired return on investment. What do they want to earn as an ROI on, is it 10%? Is it 12%? What is it that they want to earn? They're all a little bit different. Every note buyer has slightly different criteria. So the main thing though is what is their return on investment? And while considering the risk involved. So they're going to look at those things that we talked about. How risky is this loan? And what's my return on investment? And they use that as their analysis to determine what their buy price is. Now, the higher the risk, the lower the buy price, obviously, right? And vice versa. So what you need to know when it comes to flipping notes is don't worry about what a note buyer is willing to pay. Right? Because they're going to all be a little bit different. Every note buyer you work with is going to have different criteria, different risk levels, different areas, all of that they're willing to do to invest in that note. Your job is to find a motivated note holder and then get that note holder to agree to pay you a fee, right? We call this our referral fee. And then we have a referral fee agreement that they sign. Then you take those note deals and you take them to your note buyers, and then they'll tell you what they're going to pay, what they're willing to pay. And by the way, if you're really interested in flipping notes, check out our Note Flipper program. We have a webinar. You can watch that. It's free. It'll explain really all the mechanics and everything you need to do to get started flipping notes. And so check that out. We'll put the link below this video. And that's what I had to share for you today.